You guys have been missing out on some awesome speakers behind the scenes in the Zoom room. Not just that, you guys have been missing out on some great topics of discussion. We had the team panel over the weekend that knocked it out the park. We had Anthony Padilla over the weekend that knocked it out the park. And then all of the sessions that were going on in Zoom before we even went live. Guys, like that part. So you got to understand, guess what? It pays to register. bit.ly/World Voice Summit is how you can register. Absolutely free. We still have 3 more days, guys. 3 days. And when I tell you, all 3 days are going to be bananas. But today we have another panel. And that part is about to be amazing, simply because we're going to be talking about the ways that people lose when it comes to business, when it comes to starting a business, growing a business, when it comes to networking. We're going to put it all out there. Today is all about the Biggest Loser, Entrepreneurs Edition. I know. It hurts. It definitely does. So with that being said, I'm going to say hello to our panelists. I'm going to have each of them come on and introduce themselves. So let's start with you, Cindy Lou. Let them know who you are.
Hey, Cindy Lou, coming at you live from New Zealand. And I am the founder of Be Bold You, where we help you take life's twists and turns and make them into something beautiful. What does that mean exactly? Well, that means that I help women who are in a transitional time of life to understand their identity and get clarity on who they want to be today and moving forward, and who they need to step into to gain all of that they want in their life. That's me.
Y'all heard that? New Zealand, yes! We had a speaker on earlier from Hong Kong. Guys, y'all just, we're just all over the world sending hugs and love. Lorianne, tell them who you are, sis.
Hi, I'm Lorianne Speaks, and I am the founder of LVS Consulting Services, where we support small businesses as they grow with virtual assistants. So, it's been an interesting first year in business, but lots to tell you.
And of course, our great co-host, Miss Dorothea Robinson. Let them know who you are, sis.
Hi, my name is Dorothea Robinson, and I'm an exit strategist. I'm also a professional speaker, author. I am a podcaster. What I do is I assist women who are in intimate partner abuse relationships. I write those plans for them to get out. I am from the city of Philadelphia, and it's super cold here. But I know that this telesummit right here is going to be hot. So grab your friends, bring them on. Let's have this conversation because it needs to be had.
So let's dive right in, guys. First question of the panel for today, getting started. Some people say getting started, you need money. Some people say you don't need money. What's your take on it? Do you think you need a lot of money to get started, or that you don't?
Well, I didn't. I had been supporting a thought leader for the last 16 years, and she decided to retire at 75. So there I was at 60, sitting there saying, uh-oh. So I actually started this virtual assistance company because, let's face it, I'm coming from Los Angeles, the youth capital of the world. So it became very obvious to me that I was going to have to start my own company. And I've done it, grown, and I now have 5 other women working with me, and we support multiple small businesses. And actually, I specialize in speakers and authors. So, but no, I did not have a lot of money, I assure you.
And what about you, Cindy Lou?
Well, you either have to have money or time. So in what you don't have in money, you need to have in time. So be aware that you don't have to have any money to start this business. With social media, with the tools that are out there that are free, you can absolutely start your own business, but you will have to put the time in. You got to do one or the other. Now, if you've got the money, you can pay somebody else for their time, which is a brilliant way to do it too. So either way, you can start this. You can do it.
And what about you, Thea?
Yes, so I wholeheartedly agree with everyone else. I came into the business with the mindset of, well, I don't have any money, so therefore I can't do it. But later learning that's not true. And I have a wonderful coach who says, time and money, they're equal. You have to put in time. You have to feed your business. You got to feed it your time. And eventually when you get to the point of growing, like, Lorianne, when you need help so that you can do other things, then it lessens up time, which equals more money. It's a ripple effect. So no, you do not have, that's a myth. That's a myth. You don't need.
I have to agree. I think with technology, Uncle Google is amazing. YouTube, everybody's DIY now. So there are a lot of things that we can do on our own in those first couple years to kind of get your footing and get some income coming in. I think what happens is a lot of entrepreneurs, when they get started, they think, I got to buy this, I got to buy that. And they spend money on all of these different things. And then what do they tell us? We don't make it past year 5. Well, no, we didn't make it past year 5 because we bought an email marketing system with nothing to send in the email.
Exactly.
We bought a website and we don't have anything to put on the website. And so let's go into it. What are some of those unnecessary things? Let's say in the first year, what's an unnecessary expense that people go ahead and spend money on?
Can I go first? You do not hear me. I have a good girlfriend who says, hear me clearly. You do not need a website in order to have a business. There are other ways and other means that you can use before you're able to put money into a website. Let's be honest, let's be truthful. You can go, and I'm not mentioning any names, you can go to whatever website place that you think that you're going to build that perfect website, and it looks like Crayola crayons that your 2-year-old did. And when you send a potential client to look at the website, and they're looking like, no, and they're running away because how you're presenting yourself. And if you're presenting yourself through a website, it needs to be neat, it needs to be clean, it doesn't have to be the expensive thing. But the myth that that was a big thing with me. I have to get a website. There are other ways around until you can get to that website. So that shiny object syndrome website, you can step off for that for a minute. I'm just saying.
And in this day and age, with all the tools that we do have available that are free, you can build the website without the marketing expert, the web designer. There are sites out there that help you design your own. I know I did my own, and as I said, girl, I'm over 60, and I figured it out all by myself. So it can be done. There are servers that will help you. And yes, there is a fee involved in being through their server, but it is relatively a small amount. So
you do not need every single course out there.
No.
But people do. They will buy every course after course after course. If you are not implementing and taking action on the course that you've already got, unless you're a learner, and that's one of your strengths and your strength finders, and you have to have learning in your daily appetite in order to stay sane, you do not need every course out there. So stop buying 27 courses. Start taking action on the 2 that you've got now that have attracted your attention and your passion, because you'll have 1 or 2 that you've already bought that you're like, I really like that. Well, follow that path. Follow what feels light and what feels happy.
I also recommend taking everybody up on their freebies. There's this phenomenon called a lead magnet, which brings you into their site and gives you a freebie. Take their freebie. take their freebie, see what, if there's any information that you can glean from that, and run with it. If you then need more help and you really liked what that person had to say, you can go back and get the next level. And the way it works is you'll have the free one, a low cost one, and then there's the, you know, thousands of dollars to become one of their, you know, mentors. Take the free stuff, figure out what works for you, and then go. And then take a look at what you want to do next.
Yes, test drive your teachers.
Right,
Exactly.
right, exactly. Because
Exactly.
there has to be social proof and proof of what it is.
So I was that one that went and bought and got the website and paid like $700 to have a website. And at the moment I didn't have anything to put on the website. I was that one that was like the hoarder of classes and ebooks. No, for me, it was ebooks. If somebody said, oh, it's a free ebook, I was like, yes, free ebook. Let me download it. And then when I went 2 years ago, I made a commitment to my membership group. I said, we're not going to waste any more time, money, and energy. So that means everybody needs to do an inventory of what you have. And I went on my laptop and was like, oh, why do I have like 4 webinars for Facebook ads? And I've never done a Facebook ad. I have like,
and they're expensive. They're expensive when you get down to it. So I can probably tell you, based on what your business is, which platform you should stick with, and you can lay out information out through social media without having to spend a dime. So
right,
be careful.
Right. It's, you know, what the old folks used to say, chew the meat and spit out the bones. So what it is that you have, and you do absolutely right, what you have before you, you study that, master that, and then move on. You may have to, just like Lorianne said, you may need to go to the next level. That's where your commitment to your business, how much you're going to invest. So you're going to make sure that you have that next level. Why? So that you can go to the next level. However, you're not spending $5,000 here, $5,000 here, $5,000 here. You ain't going to have no money to do anything with. So yeah, chew out the meat and spit out the bones.
I like that.
Not my saying, that's the old folks. I ain't old. Look, we're not old. Okay, so another thing that comes to mind is that we have, okay, let me find the politically correct way of saying this, the nice way of saying it. We have entrepreneurs who go and sign up for a program and they don't do the research. They don't check out any reviews from the coach to see if that coach is going to be a right fit for them. And then when it doesn't work, that coach is the worst coach ever.
Oh, that is exactly what I was saying. Test drive your teacher. Make sure that they align with your own beliefs, your own values, what it is you want to do, where you want to go in life, and even your personal values and your personal faith walk. Do they align with that? And if they don't, but they have what you really need, and you know that you can get it from them in a way that their teaching is easy for you to absorb, then intentionally understand that you're choosing to learn that from them, but don't take all the other things that they teach that aren't in alignment with your faith walk and adopt them. You can spit them bones right on out.
And you're not going to be happy if you change your values to make a buck. That's not why we're here. So, good point.
It's interesting. I just had something that came in my email, reviewed it, and the information was awesome. Speaking about, and of course, everything is upsell, and you know, the click funnel, and I was good up until she had a witch's hat, the staff in her hand all of this other magical stuff. And then she turned to horns, and I'm like, oh, let me back away slowly. You may be sounding real good, but this is not going to work. So you need to make the decision, just as the ladies have said, even though it sounds good, and even though that may have been a theatrical event, I knew right away, instantly, thank goodness, that was not going to work for me, and stop there. Don't press yourself to keep going on with someone who sounds good. If there's no social proof, if they have no social proof, if they have no, the great reviews, and I'm a big on reviews. Yeah, let me see your reviews first. Let me see what you've done first. And then I can make my decisions. But don't keep pressing on with something that looks and sounds good, that may even be beneficial to your business. But listen, Cindy Lou, you're right. If it is not going against, no, it's not happening. Put the witch hat down. I left, ran.
Step away.
Definitely a walk away moment. And now it's even gotten to the point where you have some coaches that are being sued by previous clients that say, I didn't make $1 million in a weekend. It's like you got to look and say, okay, there's responsibility on both ends, but
yeah, you can't put all your eggs in one basket either. You really need to search out. I am a big fan of webinars and whatnot, if they're free. And because in every kind of conference or webinar that you listen to, there will be pieces of information that are useful. Take those, write those down, work with that, and then move on. But you can't expect any expert to do it all for you either. You have to put in the commitment and the hours that are necessary to build your own business. None of us are here to build your business for you, though I will help. But you have to make that commitment, and you need to do what you know is best for you.
I believe, we live in a world where you put it in a microwave and it's done in 5-10 minutes. And so we've just gotten so accustomed of having things ready, available. And you said something so real, needs to be etched in stone. When people are beginning a business, or even before, thinking about, okay, this is what I'm going to do, that mindset shift that has to happen from the amount of work that I'm used to doing previously for somebody else. I've got to take that same energy for my own baby and a little bit more. What are you willing to do? I always say, how bad do you want it? So does that mean that you're going to have some sleepless nights? Does that mean that you're going to go to bed a little bit later? What energy are you going to do? What kind of research are you going to do? It's just so super important. If this is what you want to do, what is your level of commitment?
Exactly. And focus. When you work for someone else, you got to go to the office and you have to be there from 9 to 5. When you're working from your home, as we all are, it's like, no, you need to stay focused. And if that's not a strong point for you, then your own business might not be the thing to do. Because I assure you, there are many days where I'm in here from 7 in the morning until midnight to make sure that all my clients are taken care of. And, I may get up out of a chair and think, oh my God, I forgot to move for 3 hours. You have to stay focused.
Absolutely. The other piece of that is that flip side is it is the responsibility of us as business owners and coaches and whatever it is we're doing, that we make clear to the client that their responsibility is theirs and our responsibility is ours. So our responsibility is to provide the services, provide the courses, put good quality information in front of them that they can take action on, have quick wins on. Find a coach or a teacher that helps you to have a quick win so that you can see that you can move forward. But we have to be really clear with what the expectations are and the fact that it's not an overnight success. And it's not, I think some of those coaches that are being sued may have put it out there in such a way that perhaps it wasn't made totally clear. Some of them are being unjustly sued, but some of them it just might be that they put it out there like, you can make $1 million, it's easy. And it's not easy. This is discipline. It is time. It is energy. And there's a lot of energy put on the front end of any business that you're running before you make a profit. If you were to buy a franchise, you own that franchise for 5 to 10 years before you make a profit. So you have to think about, it's 5 years usually before you make a profit on a franchise. So you need to think about that. And there's also the piece that people will go to college and they will spend 5, 10 years worth of college money, realizing they're not making money during that time. They're the poor college student. Well, you might be the poor entrepreneur, but if you stick with it and you keep going and you keep stacking what you're doing so that you've got the momentum continually building, one day you're going to be an overnight success. And it's not an overnight success, but it's going to look like one. But it's not. Trust me, it's not.
Because somebody will see, oh, wow, she's just come out not knowing I've been working back here for 5, 6 years before I'm here. Yeah.
Exactly. And so let's put it all out there, because a lot of times we do get some clients that sign on, and I know I have a conversation before anybody signs on to my membership, my programs. I have a conversation with them because I don't want you to sign on to something that you don't need. Not every coach is going to do that. And I've been privy to see some coaches that will go and say, oh, well, yeah, this program is great for you, when it's not necessarily what they needed.
It's not necessarily the right time. It might be great for them, but it may not be the right time.
That's true.
I had a mentor who said, and I stand by it, and I'm going to end on this. Every dollar is not a good dollar. Every dollar is not a good dollar.
Yeah, sometimes we actually even have to fire our clients. It
won't always happen often, but yeah, because we got to understand that this is going to be a give and a take. I can't expect to just take money from you and not give you everything that's promised in, when you signed up for this program, but then it's going to be the other way around. It's the same thing. It's the give and take on both ends. But yeah, I've been able to see that there are some that are out there and they'll just, give you what you want to hear in order to get you into the program. And then you don't necessarily get, what it is that you need. Yes, you have to put in the work. Yes, you have to go in. I mean, you got to put in some work. When they tell you it's work, early mornings, late nights. Normally I'm not up late, but because of the summit, I've been up late. I've been getting like 5 hours of sleep. But it's worth it in the end, because we've been able to, give you guys an amazing summit and bring some amazing speakers to you. It's work. We didn't just wake up and blink and it just all fell into place. It fell out of place by the time we wake up in the morning. How about that?
Yeah.
There's this misconception. I think, again, it's this microwave, and when you see the flashy bells and whistles, and you see the Lamborghinis, and I'm not making mention of anybody, but when you see all of these things that are offered, and because people want, and so they know that that's a draw, but then when you get to the coach or to whoever it is, I know for us, for those of us in business who are passionate about what it is that we do, we want to see the fruit of our work as well. So the person that we say, I can do this, and this is what I do, how I do it, and the client says, this is what I need. And so when they're in your presence, you want to make sure that they're growing and getting the things that they need to get in order so that they can continue to grow. You want to see the fruit of your work. You're not wanting to see, rotten fruit just hanging around, not doing anything. And then when I think about it, I had this conversation earlier where the fruit that you look at, like, wow, this is going well, and then you see, some of the clients that are not working well, then either you've got to, change up some things in order to solve another problem. But we're in the business that we're in to solve a problem. And the solving of that problem is you're not wanting to look at rotten fruit. You that hurts to your heart to see somebody not gaining, or you want to fix that problem, so to speak. But I had to learn early, you can't fix everybody's problems either. You can offer what it is that you do, and you hope and pray that this is a good fit. But there's just sometimes that it doesn't work for whatever reasons. That's why you have disclaimers.
But this is exactly why communication is so important. You guys are coaches. I'm the back end person. I'm that detail person. So I like it all spelled out. What is necessary? And as a coach, I think you guys probably do it with your clients as well, is, okay, what is the end goal? How are we going to get there? What is the deadline? What is it you need to do? What is it I need to do so we can work as a team? So these are, clarity and communication is so important in life, let alone in business. So.
Yes. And, there's times where your client doesn't actually know they're not ready.
True.
And it's our responsibility as the coach or the employed person who's helping us to let them know, you're not quite ready for that step. For in your case, where we come to you and we say, we want you to do this website for us, and you say, give me all your content, and they're like, oh, I don't have any content. Well, you're not ready for the website yet, and you need to be honest and say, you're not ready for that yet. What I need you to do is create some content. Would you like me to help you create content? And then that way you've got, you've taken them down another avenue, but you've given them, or point you in a direction where you can create it. Giving them what the steps are before they get to your particular step is so helpful for that person who doesn't even know they're not ready. They want to do this and they think, I'm ready to do it, but they actually don't have all the pieces in place before they do that piece.
So that takes us right into our next topic, because because we have the technology age, because we're meeting people all over the world, guess what? Can we still say that there's a such thing as contract by handshake? And with so many people having so many different bad business deals that have been like going up in smoke, how do you really protect yourself as an entrepreneur?
That's a really good question. I mean, because I do have clients that I have contracts with, and I have a couple that I don't, because I trust them emphatically, and they've been with me since day one. Going forward, I usually work with a new person, especially the first couple of months, with a retainer package, so that they pay me a certain amount. Let's say they only, a lot of new businesses can only afford to have assistants for maybe like 10 hours a month. My lowest package is for 10 hours a month, but I can help you. But in those kind of situations, you're paying me up front. I can only say I know my integrity, so it's like I know that I'm going to do those 10 hours, but you can't count on it all the time. So if you're worried about, first of all, if you're worried about them not following through, they're probably not the partner for you. Because our guts, or our women's intuition, goes a long way. If you're not feeling comfortable, don't go there. So I've done it both ways.
Well, in the same way that you can test your teacher, you can test those you're going to work with by perhaps coming up with a small collaboration that's no money that helps both of you move forward. And it could be as simple as, if they've got a podcast, being on their podcast. See how they interact with you. See what the communication is like, because you're right. If there is not communication and it's not clear, you're going to run into trouble, contract or no contract. If it is not clear, that's where you have your bumps in the road.
Yeah, your communication is everything. Clarity is all of that. For me, for clients, gaining clients, I have to have it written out and spelled out exactly what I will do. I need to know exactly what it is that you expect. Now, if you're having me to come to your house cooking food every 5 days and that's what's in your head, and that might be generally like she's going to be here all the time. I can call her and get her on the inbox. I can call her 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. No. This is what I offer. This is what I know that I can do. Here are the reviews. And you make the judgment. But I am on the phone. We're having a conversation. After the conversation, we're looking over what's written. This is what I will do. If you believe that this is a good fit, then, we'll work this out. But the retainer up front, because usually when you're asking people from payment up front, when you're asking money to be involved, they're usually going to be attentive. They usually mean that this is what I really need. This is what I really want. And then there are those clients who want to pick your brain for free and be in your inbox for all kinds of information. And no, that's not working like that either. But that is really an interesting question.
And I'm happy to help people and answer questions for them. I really am, because I've always kind of been someone that, I'm the mom, I'm the mentor kind of person. So I'm happy to answer questions for anyone. I just came back from a conference of 200 new speakers and authors and podcasters. And yeah, it was awesome. So, but they need to be willing to do the steps as well. So I'm happy to answer a question, but if you want me to actually do something for you, then we're talking retainer package. So that's the way it works.
And this is a lot. They said it in the comments, that no, interpretation is different today. So the handshake no longer works unless it is written down. And then the handshake is to solidify, that this is what we're doing. But even when we're doing it online, now it's gotten a lot trickier, because now you can work with anybody from all over the world and you can talk to anybody from all over the world. Here's the problem. I can talk to you on the phone. I can see a picture. I can see your profile. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's you.
Oh, true.
So you have there's so many different ends to it that I can do a contract and all of that wonderful stuff, and then have the contract with somebody who's not even a real person, or, it just gets a little weird now because we have so many different outlets. But the opportunities are great. The opportunities are endless because of social media. We just got to make sure that we're using discernment. We're not.
Well, Cindy Lou had a very good statement when she said, "Try a small project."
That's it.
I would recommend, if there's any worries at all, do a small project. It could be I know $100 is a lot to some people, but do $100 project. For much less than that, people aren't really going to want to take on your business, to be totally clear. But do $100 project. If they come through and it all works beautifully, then you can go the next level. Then you can go the next level. And as you create a relationship, because all business is a relationship, you have to build those relationships. It's like, you guys don't know me from Adam. I mean, I know I'm good, but you don't necessarily. And so it start with something small.
So that leads me into the next question. And we talked, it got brought up a little bit. The ones that are wanting to get all of the information for free, that want to get, they want to be in your inbox and they give you like all these different questions and they don't invest in anything, but they just want to pick your brain. When you're in the beginning stages, and I've heard coaches say this, oh no, go ahead and do, go ahead, let people pick your brain, so that way you can get a review from them. I've heard coaches say it, but you got to understand that when it comes time to go from everything is free to now I'm charging, they're already conditioned to getting everything free.
Yes. So this is where, when you set up your collaboration, you set a beginning date and an end date. It's so important to understand what that is. I mean, the collaborations are, a true collaboration is done without money exchanged, and it's helping both people do better, be better, and get higher and further along than they would be. You're helping them, they're helping you, or you're helping them and they're helping the next person, like if you have a team that collaborates. In that, you have got to make sure that you have an exit plan, that you know where you're going to go, when it needs to end, how it will end, what it will look like. You set that up at the beginning before you start answering questions. A collaboration can be, I'm happy to answer your questions and not charge you. In return for that, I'm going to want a review, and that review will need to be given to me by such and such a date. And if at any point that I feel like your questions are going beyond what I would normally give for free, I'm going to let you know that that would be a normal charge of blah, 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 blah. And at that point, you can choose to keep working with me, or you can choose to exit. That's giving them an exit strategy right from the beginning. And it's also giving you the open door to take them to that next level of coaching or working with them.
I've just recently, that's excellent and great advice, because I've just found just recently where I learned, and for me, I will always say, you need coach as you need more than one coach. There's different coaches for different things. There are different businesses for different things. So if you need your tires rotated, you're not going to go to a pizza shop and get pizza. That just doesn't make sense. You need different things and different people for different areas in your life. With that being said, I will often say, and what it is that I do, raise your hand, get help somewhere. If you need to get out, if you need help with speaking, if you need help with, writing, how to write your story after domestic violence, get somebody, just get help. But if you are constantly in my inbox and you're constantly asking me questions, but I know that you're paying $2,500 to someone else who's making a promise, and I know there's no social proof because of all of the bells and whistles that are going off that you've been attracting to. You can't be in my inbox asking, that's no. And not that you have to come and get coaching from me, but however, I know and understand and see that you value what it is that I say. So there's something to what it is that I'm offering you, but there's no way that you want to get it from me from free when I heard you say, oh, I just went and got programmed at such and such and such for such and such. And I'm like, as coaches, And I know that there are many of us who do different things. Again, there's speech coach, there's, financial, we all need coaches. Each coach does something different. But if you value who you are with, then you stick with that person. And just like I believe, Cindy Lou said, stick with them. Stop bouncing around. Gain all that you can gain from that one person that you've invested in. Give that person time in order for you to get whatever. But then when you've got, again, there's some people who are out here with bells and whistles, which makes, other coaches look bad, so to speak. I don't know. That's just something that I just came across with.
We all have to value ourselves.
That's true.
Whether you are the customer or the provider, we have to value ourselves, and we have to put limits on what we're going to do moving forward. So, I mean, I think that's true for everyone.
And you know what? It's interesting because when we first come in and we're even though we're talking about the new entrepreneur, the first 5 years, this is for any entrepreneur. A lot of times we forget that our value is not just from the education we got. Our value is our time. Our value is our energy. It's our knowledge and our wisdom. Our value is everything that we're bringing to the table. So when we come to the table, if we devalue ourselves and put a lower amount on ourselves, they're going to take us at whatever value we put. If I say that my program's $1, they're going to buy it for $1. If I say it's $1,000, they're going to buy it for $1,000. And so we have to, as starting entrepreneurs, there's a mindset shift that has to happen. But even some that have been in it for a while, there still has to be a shift, because at some point you can offer more, you have more value, so your prices need to adjust. And if you have not adjusted your prices, if you still have the same prices you had 10 years ago, then have you invested in yourself? Have you spent time taking classes and reading books? Like, that's the question you got to ask.
Yeah. And even though, we may find a program that's, oh, wow, I want to buy this, I want this coach, and, I believe he or she is going to deliver unto me what it is that I need so that I can move to my next level. And then just as you say, if it's $5.99, but because it's $5.99, are you going to jump on it because of the low price? We put value in stake in what it is that we invest in. And, it just begs to differ if there's a company that's doing the very same exact thing, and one is $5.99, but one is, maybe $1,000, you've got to make some type of mindset shift and discern which is really valuable, so.
I learned something this weekend on the conference that I went to, and the three main themes of the conference were authenticity, commitment, and clarity. And it really all boils down to, you got to be you. You don't need to be that other person because they're more successful. No, you have to be you. Otherwise it's inauthentic and it's not going to work anyway. So just putting it out there, be authentic, be committed, and have clarity in what you're doing.
Lorianne just dropped the mic.
It's the truth, though. I know, I tell people that's the other piece of getting coaching that you have to be mindful of, is you're getting coaching because there's a strategy that they can teach you. You're not getting coaching to become that coach.
Exactly.
And so many people get caught up because they think, oh my goodness, I'm getting coaching so that way I can become that coach. So that way I can make the $1 million that coach made. I can go and have 500,000 people on my email list like that coach did. And the reality is no, that's not how any of this goes.
Yeah, that takes me back to vocal coaching that I got. And I had one coach who basically wanted me to sing the way they did. And then I had another coach who found out what my voice would do and helped me improve what my voice would do and change the way I sang to be better for me, not into thee.
Very good. Very good. So well said.
Yeah.
We all have our own voice.
Right.
And you need to use your own voice. Don't sit back and let other people tell you how to do things when you know in your gut that this is the way to go. So be you.
Oh, Lulu, I just have flashbacks of speaking. You know, I am a speaker, took speaking classes thousands of years ago. And when I revisited it, you know, a couple of years ago, what I learned back then, I thought would take me far out in the reach where I am now, but it didn't, because I wasn't taught just exactly what you ladies have just said, that I was being trained to speak like the professor. And first of all, he was a guy, and I can't lower my voice deep enough to be that, but he wanted me to speak like him, the way with the inflections and all of that. But then it took me 1,000 years into the future to learn that I have my own speaking voice and just gravitate and own it. Yeah, that's pivotal. And spend thousands of dollars. I'm not going to talk about that part, but yeah.
Yeah, when the second vocal coach that I had came up with, these are the warm-ups for you. And she said those exact terms. These are warm-ups for you and for your voice that are going to help strengthen what you need strengthened. I went, this is a coach I want. So finding a coach, finding a provider that gives you what you need in such a way that it strengthens where you're going, what you're doing, and what you want to be, or who you want to be. That is who you want to find.
And one who still challenges you, though. You want to be challenged.
Oh, yeah.
You don't stay in your comfort zone or you're never going to grow.
Yeah, that was just it. She gave me stuff that would challenge me, that would grow my voice, that would make it more, just give me a lot more strength and a lot more volume and things like that. And built my confidence at the same time.
I currently have a coach, and we lovingly call her the cliff pusher. She is a type of coach who, she's laughing hysterically now, but she is the type of coach for the accountability and hold you. You need a coach that will hold you accountable to the things that you say you want, not what they want. So, okay, so what do you want? Okay, so how are you getting? She's clapping. So how are you getting there? What's the plan? And so when you say what you want and you deliver that, she understands that, or he understands that. She's the type of coach who will say to you on your call, okay, boom, we're going live on Facebook. I'm in my hair bun and I'm in my pajamas. No, we're getting ready. And we call her the cliff pusher because she pushes you to that edge. She will gently get you, and literally, there you go. But she knows that you're not going to fall flat because she's giving you all of the things and all of the tools that you need so that you can soar, that you can fly. Yeah, she's lovingly, we call her the cliff pusher. She laughs about it, but yeah, she keeps us on our toes all the time.
It's I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm calling you out. But then, you know, again, just as we said here, you learn what it is that you learn. And so I have clients for whom it is for them in their space, you know, living after the, you know, life of domestic violence. For me, I know that I can't push too hard because of flashbacks and things that they go through. But I will listen. I had a call last night and she was like, oh, here we go. I got to be ready. Yes, so that you can move to your next level. You know, Lorianne, that's perfect. You got to be challenged. You got to be challenged.
Yeah.
Or why are you there?
Exactly. We have to challenge ourselves. And that includes your coaches. You know that most coaches have coaches. So that we all keep growing. It's important. So I have my coach, I have my mentor. She's not in the same business as I, because I'm more service oriented. I provide services as opposed to coaching. So, although gosh knows, I'm a mom and I'll give everybody my opinion whether they like it or not. So
You coach people through their process of what they need to get done.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay, so let's get to the debate. There are some people that come into entrepreneurship and they come in with degrees and they have this, we're going to be political, they have this air and this aura about them that makes them feel as though that they know more than you because they're coming with a degree. What's your take on that? I know what my take is on it. I'm going to say last. I'm going to be last because I know what my thought process is on it. But what's your take on it?
The degree aspect? And now, are you talking with regards to coaching or whatever they've chosen as their business?
Like whatever they've chosen as their business, it's that degree versus experience debacle, like that.
Well, I think it has to kind of be a little bit of a mix of both, to be very honest with you, because unless you've learned through one source or another, you won't have the information necessary to succeed. That said, you need to be passionate about what it is you're doing. Again, at this conference, they said, pardon my French, I won't use the word, but pick your effing chakra. You know, you don't have to deal in every aspect of everybody's life. Pick your chakra, stick with it. Now, whether you have a degree in that or not, but if your passion is there and you've done your own learning, then you have something to offer. Does that make sense? So a little bit of both, to be real honest with you.
Perfect sense. So I know, and we all know, there are many people out here who have many different types of business. And there's one particular gentleman for whom it is that I keep thinking about. He had, he was in corporate, but his passion was cooking. And so he went out and gained all of the knowledge that surrounded him getting his cooking career, business, life change, lifestyle business out there. He currently now has 2 restaurants that are doing amazing. With that being said, there was no one who could cook the fried chicken that he cooks other than the person who taught him, which was his mama or grandmother. I'm not quite sure who. But he took that recipe for what it is that he mastered, did it well, got the compliments on, which fueled him to bring it to a cookbook, which fueled him to bring it into a business. So he gained some, he had basic knowledge of cooking. But he had to learn some other things in order to propel that business to be where his business is, to be where it is currently. We know with, looking at colleges and schools and what's going on, there are courses about what it is that we do that they're getting rid of these MBA programs. They're getting rid of these business courses. Why? Because Uncle Google and all of this information that's out here, people can research, people can just gain a whole lot of knowledge about their particular business. And so, just as you say, it should be a little bit of, mixture of both. Like, you should not be out there cooking if you can't cook.
Well, and to start a restaurant, you have to have a lot of different kinds of knowledge, because
Right.
just to be a good chef doesn't mean you're going to have a successful restaurant if you don't know the management side of things.
Right.
So again, a little bit of both.
Right.
I'm going to take this into the operating room. When you have a surgeon operating on your head, and he's a neurosurgeon, you want him to have all that learning. But in order for him to do his job, you got to have the nurses that are helping him. You got to have the people that clean the tools that are going to be in your head. You want to make sure those people know what they're doing, and they may never have gone to school for nothing, but they know how to put that thing in there and sterilize that baby. And you want it that way because that is your head. You have to understand that it is a team effort. And if you as a coach or as a provider don't know how to do something, you need to be honest and say, I don't know how to do that, but I will find you a road, an avenue, a place to go where you can get that. So you don't have to know everything. I think sometimes that's one of the biggest loser things. Like that is like the bomb. You think when you go into this entrepreneur thing that you have to know everything. And that's that course. You got to take all these courses so you can learn everything. You got something to offer today. I don't know what it is, but you got something that you've gone through, some kind of experience that you've had that someone else is going through. I can take moving around the globe as an experience. You know, I moved from the US to New Zealand, sight unseen, figured out how to do that, how to, you know, what I could take, what I couldn't take. I had a lot to figure out. And that is going to help somebody who wants to move globally to a different, you know, place. I would say sell everything as much as you can sell. But before you sell everything, go and explore the pricing on a few things that you love. Like I love my cast ironware. But I sold it thinking it's heavy. You know, I'd have to pay a lot to ship it. If I had known how much it costs here before I sold it all, and even my husband's like tools and things, there's certain things that just cost a lot more because we're an island. Don't tell the New Zealanders that I said that though. But we are an island. We're 3 islands actually, and a whole bunch of little ones. But it takes a lot to get stuff here. So there's an added cost of transport and getting things here. So knowing and exploring and all those things. But you don't have to know it all. You can do Google, but you can also employ the experts who have had that learning, bring that into your coaching or your product services.
And I think we all know what we don't know, or hopefully you know what you don't know. So
Are you willing to admit it? You've got to be willing to admit it.
Yeah.
I think I have to agree that it has to be a combination of both. You know, having that formal education, there's a piece of that really does help you. There's a piece of that kind of keeps you grounded sometimes. Because, you know, on the passion and purpose side, we tend to float up in the air sometimes, and we sometimes need something that's going to keep us grounded. But I do have to agree. Dorothea knows that we've talked about it in our membership quite a many times, that there are universities and colleges that are getting rid of the MBA program because they feel as though because people have literally paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for this MBA, and then they get out of college and they're still fighting for the same jobs. They're not necessarily going into, you know, corporate at a higher level simply because they have that MBA now. And I think that has been a huge shift in what's being talked about in colleges as well now too, because now we see that there's a lot more entrepreneurs that are starting to do programs and teach different things on college campuses. And so you see where the shift is happening, that you need both. But if you're only relying on one, I think you're doing yourself and your clients a disservice.
Yeah.
Well, I was truly I was upset. You know, I spent whatever amount it cost back thousands of years ago taking a speaking class, and then to come to a speaker, you know, to a speaker and have her teach me, and said, I didn't learn any of this in the courses and the amount of money that I spent on college campus with what a 6 months intensive with a coach who knew exactly what it is that she was doing and trained me well, and getting clients and getting speaking engagements and getting me into places of knowing where to go and how to, I don't want to say I wasted money, but I did. I felt some type of way about, okay, so all of that money, and then I come here, and in 6 months, I learned in 6 months what I did not learn for that, the 6 months that I spent in college. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I guess you do have to weigh, you really do.
And Patricia said it in the comments. I agree. Always be a student, even when you are the teacher or coach. Yes, indeed. I'm someone that when I started out in entrepreneurship in 2014, I was maybe reading like a book every other month. I was not really investing in courses. I may download something. I'm a researcher by nature, by heart. So I would research things, but I wasn't necessarily getting as into really investing in myself as I am now. So now I'm at the point where I'm at about 2 books a week, because I'm just like, okay, I know for one, I'm getting wisdom. I don't know who I don't know who said that life experience was the best teacher. No. That's the most painful teacher at times. I don't listen. They said a hard head make for a sore what? Come on. I don't have time to be walking around with a sore behind because I don't want to listen. And there are many out there that have told us what worked, what didn't work, how you can make it a little easier on this end or that end. There are plenty out there that are willing to share this information in a book. And, it's been said, you ever want to hide something from someone, put it in a book. You're not hiding anything from it. You're not going to hide it. Nope. I'm going to find every ounce of everything you done put into that book, because I understand now the investment that I have to make in myself. So when I go and I pay for something, that's an investment. There's going to be a return on that investment. When I go and buy a book, that's an investment. There's going to be a return on that investment if I read the book. Because let's be honest, some of y'all like out here got a whole library and ain't cracked open not one page. Whole library. But that was a part of the process, was that I had to get to that point where I understood that investment is necessary. If I want to continue to grow and be able to add more to my clients, I gotta keep investing. I gotta keep learning. I gotta keep growing. And I mean, let's be honest, things change. Like at that, like a blink, things change. Social media changes. One moment we didn't have live stream, now live stream is everything. I mean, it changes so quickly. You have to continuously make sure that you're investing in that information with the right people. It's necessary. That's right. Learn from others. I don't have time to have a sore behind. I don't know about y'all. Maybe y'all in the comments might be okay. Maybe y'all like a little pain or something. Y'all like to have a sore behind. I don't. I didn't like whoopings when I was a child. I don't want no whooping when I'm an adult. I don't want that. Thanks.
So, still water becomes what? Non-moving water becomes what? Stagnant. And then it starts smelling after a while, for real. Then let's not go into the mold that forms, and it can get real nasty, but we constantly have to be evolving and growing and learning, again, to provide right information to, your client. So, I mean, Lorianne is in her business, and I know that things are always moving in your business, and there's different things that you have to be on top of constantly, so that you can provide for your clients, the way you need to. So,
and every client is different in their need. So what I do for one may be totally different than what I do for another. So, yeah. And if I don't know it, I have others. As a matter of fact, I have some young girls on my team as well, because I will admit to not being the most technical person in this world. But what I've taken the time to learn over the last year and a half is just like probably more than I did the decade before. So you do need to know your limitations. You should do what you do best. hire others to do the other things. Stephen Covey said this 25 years ago. And it's so true. If you can be making, as a salesperson, let's say in your entrepreneurial endeavor, $100 an hour in your sales, but you're spending 10 hours a week on administrative stuff that you could hire someone at 25, you're then spending that time making the 100, you're making more money and getting more of a profit by taking the minutia off your plate. Don't waste time doing things that you can have other people do for you. So, that's where I come into play. But do what you do best. That's
You
it for
said
me.
it right there. You definitely have to do what you do best. Don't think that you have to do it all. We said that because that will leave you broken.
Yep.
More times than not. And having that honest conversation. So let's go to another topic that's really hard for entrepreneurs, is knowing when to pivot, knowing when to shift. I found that for my clients, that's always a rocky moment. That's always that conversation where they're kind of looking at you like, I think you're serious and crazy. I don't know why you would think I would want to do this, because I think you're serious though, and you're potentially need a hug me jacket and padded walls, because I don't know where that idea came from. Like, that's the look that they have on their face is like, but we're pushing them outside of their comfort zone. So we often get that look from them. But what's your take on that?
Well, I think that when you say pivot, we need to find our niche that we're best at. As like I said, find your freaking chakra. Find it, what it is that you do best, and do that. You do not have to be all things to all people. We can't be. We just can't be. So pivoting, when to throw in a towel is a whole nother, conversation. But you do need to drill down to that niche that works for you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect sense, because in the beginning, Lorianne, I was going to help everybody in the world. I was going to help everybody who had to deal with, what it is that I do. I was helping everybody, and it was painful because I didn't see people coming. I mean, people were responding to the lives and commenting and all of that good stuff, but I didn't see anybody in the pocket. Why are we in a business? Let's be honest. Let's be truthful. We're here for a profit, and to solve other people's problems. But we're in business for a profit. But with that being said, when I did just that, when I shifted, and it did not feel good. It was very, very painful, because I wanted to help everybody, but I had to understand that I couldn't. And so when I found out, this is what I do best. And so when I narrowed it down and yet rebranded again the beginning of this year, even down further, am I seeing the results? Because I'm helping a specific audience better than I would, just this broad helping everybody in the world and, kumbaya, that type of thing. And it wasn't happening. So, when you get down to that lowest common denominator, then you can be really the most effective in your business and to be able to solve problems, because we can't solve everybody's problem. Although I wanted to, but it just wasn't happening.
I think giving ourselves permission to throw in a towel, to stop doing something that we have invested thousands of dollars into or hundreds of hours into, and we feel like it's our baby, but we realize that it's actually not, and it's not growing in a way that is helpful. It would be kind of like, continuing to feed your child sugar when you found out that sugar is not what they should have, being they're bouncing off the wall and it's just not working. You need to drop the sugar and feed them the vegetables, maybe some fruit in there that'll have a little sugar in it, natural sugar, so they've got something that they can still grab a hold of. But you have to give yourself permission to drop that belief that you have held on to for all them years, thinking this is the way to go, thinking that this was the right coach, and then realizing that they were taking you down a road that was their business and not helping you build your business. It's okay to drop the coach. It's okay to go get another one. It's okay to make those pivots. Yes, you did spend hundreds of hours, thousands of whatever, but if you were doing that to truly invest in yourself and your own business, it will pay you back down the road, and you don't have to worry about it being a loss. It's a learning. You're not losing, you're learning.
Someone on the summit recently had just made a comment about just on that, Cindy Lou, that there's a time when you do need to break off. And when that happens, as coaches, do not get offended that happened, because there's seasons for everything. And you've got to be able to know, okay, so this person has the need to move on. You can't take offense of anything either. And then, so that's important.
So you guys have been like rocking and rolling all night. I have a final question for you guys, and then we'll wrap it up. You'll be able to tell everybody where to find you on social media and everything. So the final question is being transparent about your failures.
We're all laughing without but taking ourselves off of mute. I don't think you get anywhere without failing, but do you take that failure and learn from it? And I've taken on clients that I wanted to fire like immediately because they were driving me crazy. So we all have failures, and my business didn't grow as fast as I wanted it to. I mean, I laughed about the fact that I never took a break year between high school and college, or college and work and motherhood. I kind of took my break year last year when I only had 2 clients, so I was working like 3 hours a day. Well, and I realized I was failing at bringing people in to increase my funnel. I hate that word, but, to increase my funnel. So, we all make mistakes.
Okay, so Cindy Lou, you and I are going to go back and forth and about who's going to answer this question. I see her leaning up, I'm leaning back, not wanting to answer the question. Failures, they are learning lessons and stepping tools and move to the next level. And, you learn from your mistakes, and your mistakes are not, failures, they're only stepping stools. Yeah, that sounds great. They still hurt. In reality, they hurt because, you wanted this particular client to get to the next level. You knew and understood some things that had been going on with them. And, for whatever reason, it wasn't working out for them. But then you see, I didn't do this enough, or I could have done this enough. And even though, in the marketing department, don't even talk about that. The marketing, and then, the posting, when to post, and all of that stuff that goes within that, You don't do it correctly. But then you find out, this is what's wrong with my Instagram page and why I'm not getting anybody on it. This is the reason why I'm not getting any engagement on LinkedIn. And so as you move through and as you gain information and you see, that whole campaign I messed up. I could have done that launch differently. That doesn't mean that you throw the baby away, so to speak. You throw the water away, you give the baby new water to wash up in, and then you do that same thing and do that launch the way you've learned it correctly, the way to do it now. So it doesn't feel good. It doesn't, but you learn from stuff. Pretty much like when I get pushed off the cliff. Yeah, you learn some things. You learn how to, maneuver.
All right, I guess I have to go now, eh? So this year, I have begun the year by basically admitting to my biggest failure. My tagline is live life out loud. And I've had to admit to the world that I've been living life out loud behind closed doors. That I have not stepped fully into that place of putting myself out there in a way that is true and authentic and me, because I was afraid of being rejected. And it all goes back to being 11 years old and making a decision at 11. Do I have a minute to tell this story? Okay. I'm 11, 6th grade, stayed up all night long. I cut out those pants. They were beautiful. I set the pattern out, cut the cloth out, sewed them together, and I could wear them in the morning. I literally stayed up all night to make these pair of pants. Now I want you to picture these pants. You got neon red, 70s, okay? Neon pink down the front panel, right-hand side. Down the left panel, you got neon green with pink decorations on it. On the back panel, we have the opposite. We have a neon green down the one leg and on neon pink with patterned flowers on it. Now I thought they were amazing, absolutely amazing. I had made them myself. It was my creation. Now I didn't know as an artist that it's ours to put it out there. And it doesn't matter that the world judges it and laughs at me when I walked into school and every kid laughed at my pants. And that day I made the decision to never show my creativity, to never let the world know what I wanted to create and what I wanted to make. And this year, it's like, that's it, man. I am stepping into it. I am going to help people. The other thing that I failed at is asking people to pay me. I have done the free inbox for years. I have given away the way I see the world for free because I felt like I couldn't charge, because if I got judged and I had charged, then that somehow made it all that work that I'd put into those pants or all that work that I'd put into the course or the training or the coaching, that it wasn't of value because somebody might laugh at it or not think it's good enough. But let me tell you, it's good enough because you're good enough. And what you have to offer and what you have and how you see the world is amazing. And I do believe I'm going to be working with people who have creative, artistic people who don't see the world in black and white, and they see it in full color and neon colors, and they're going to be loud and they're going to be boisterous and they're going to be there. And I've had to realize that I'm now needing to step into being that loud, boisterous voice for this world.
Good for you. Awesome. Awesome.
That transparency goes a long way. It does. It opens up so many different things. And most times when we're transparent about what we've been through, it speaks directly to our target audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw all three of you, and I saw the response that you did, and I have given that story just one other time live. And everybody's like, that's your story. That's your signature story, is that creation and that decision that you made based on the reaction of other people. And we do that, man. We make decisions based on what others think about what we're doing. We got to stop that crap.
Good. Yes. Right on.
I mean, on the Seller Summit just a day ago, whatever day we were on, yesterday, that's exactly what the exercise that Anthony had to give from your chest. You say, I decide. And he didn't say I had to do it once. I don't see you, you do it. I decide. And so, yes, that's amazing. See, there was a reason why you were supposed to go last in the room.
Oh my goodness, this panel has been phenomenal. You guys have given us great feedback in the comments. They said sometimes admitting those failures is growth within itself. No longer would you allow those failures to define where you are going and who you are about to help. It says the enemy derails us. Always remember he comes after a full and valued vessel. That part. Yes. And they definitely said, Regina said, yes, that should be your signature. You got to understand, listen, this is a journey. And a lot of times we forget that we're not the only ones on this journey. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to talk about it. Get you some good entrepreneurial friends, some people that you can go and do a networking event with and just come together and say, okay, this is what we have going on. How are we going to fix it? This is what's coming down the pipeline. How are we going to move to the next level? I tell my clients all the time, that's the reason why I put together the World Voice League, was because it was time for us to come together and talk about what's really going on, what's really working and not working in our business. And, you know, deciding that now is the time for us to move forward. You know, we're not just going to wait and pick up the scraps. We're not just going to, you know, gather up the crumbs, but we're going to be here front and center getting everything that's due us. So I applaud you, ladies. I thank you so much for being a part of the summit today.
My pleasure.
So Lorianne, tell them where they can find you on social media and how to get in contact with you.
Okay. Well, my website is www.L V as in Victor, S as in Sam, consulting services.com. And on Twitter, I'm Lorianne V Speaks, which is LORIANNE, capital V, capital SPEAKS. On Facebook, you can find me at Lorianne Speaks, as well as LVS Consulting Services, and the same for LinkedIn. So I'm on all of them.
Awesome. And Thea?
Well, you can find me at bit.ly/1 more free, and that's FREE. I would like to offer a gift in the way of, for those of you who are out there, you can go to bit.ly/talk with Thea. Spend some time, get on the phone, and if you need to talk, we can have the conversation. But I'm across all social media as a Dorothea Thea Robinson or the Exit Strategist.
And Miss Cindy Lou?
Hello. So you can find me on Facebook at Be Bold You with Cindy Lou Miller. And Cindy Lou Miller is CYNDILU, and then Miller, traditional spelling, MILLER. And I'm also on Instagram and YouTube and all over the place, but I will put something on my Facebook page, a post that kind of has all the links on it and make it really easy for people to find. So I do not have a gift set aside for today, but if you message me on Facebook and you would like a 15-minute just, clarity strategy call, I'd be willing to do that, but just send me a Facebook message and we can set that up.
And I'm also happy to answer anybody's questions. Feel free to go ahead and email me even at Lorianne. It's Lorianne at lvsconsultingservices.com. So
awesome. And guys, listen, this has been a phenomenal summit. We still have 3 more days, and we are looking forward to some great information, some powerful speakers. But not only that, we're looking for you to be able to go to the next level. So connect with who you need to connect with. Join us tomorrow, bit.ly/World Voice Summit. That way you can be in the Zoom room to ask questions as well. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.